Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Menopause Love Lounge, where we are here to talk everything menopause, perimenopause, sex, marriage, I don't know, wellness, everything you need to know about this crazy time in your life. So we're glad you guys are joining us here in the lounge. We love having these open conversations. Let's say hello to the ladies. Dawn Wiggins, how are you,
Hi,
my friend?
hi.
Hi,
Thanks for having me.
hi. Absolutely. Lori Gerber, what's going
Yo,
on?
yo,
Yo.
all the
I
things.
always
I'm
just
New
go to you
Yorker.
first so
Yo, yo,
Ozzy
yo.
doesn't steal it. Ozzy.
What
Ozzy,
up?
what you got?
What up?
Ooh.
That was a good one.
Love it. Junie Moon. Hey, girl.
Good to be here.
Happy to have you.
Thank
Karen.
you. Hey,
Karen
happy
Viesta.
Wednesday.
Happy
Hey, happy
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
We're so excited you guys are here today. We're talking about menopause and the new rules of love. Do we even want marriage anymore? So we're kind of
Whoa.
finding that so many women, I know, especially in midlife, are saying yes to love, but no thank you to marriage. So we're going from empty nesters to new divorces, and a growing number of women are choosing the whole LAT, living apart together, which is intimacy without cohabitation, commitment without the contract. So is this the future of love, or are we just afraid? Is this fear? I don't know. Okay, so in this episode, it's going to be a good one. We're going to unpack the truth about freedom and partnership and what it really means to love on your own terms. We are going to have our personal reflections, of course, where we're going to kind of catch you guys up on where we're all at in our relationships and where we stand on marriage right now. Only two of us are married in this group here, so that'll be very interesting. Then we're also going to get our stats and our culture watch, and then we're going to play our legs wide open game, which is going to be caring, commitment, or cop out. So we'll get to that when we get to it. Let's get started. Karen, why don't you start us out? Where are you at right now with your relationship?
Okay, well, this is a very timely conversation for me because I am in a relationship for the last almost 4.5 years. And this is exactly where my partner and I are now, talking about what we want the future to look like.
Oh,
And, we are currently living apart together. We
yeah.
have separate homes. And that is in part because, I have a daughter at home. She graduated from college and she's living back home. And so I think we were kind of waiting until, she got out of the house and things there were sorted. Um, but interestingly, I can find lots of great reasons to get married, deepening our
Yeah.
connection, spending more time together. I mean, there are lots of great reasons to get married. But at this stage of life, there are also a bunch of other considerations, apart from the financial, investment of a wedding, which now is substantial,
Huge.
substantially bigger than it was, when I got married at 24. But
Mhm.
more importantly, there are, legal considerations, a prenup, trusts and various legal documents that have to be drawn up. There are the challenges of blending families. So, it feels right now like, a real, like I said, there are real pros and cons to it. And the two of us are having those conversations and kind of figuring that out. I mean, for sure, we want to be with each other and we will be with each other. But the question is, what is that going to look like? And we're both people who've lived apart for a period of time and have gotten comfortable with a certain amount of time and space to ourselves and a certain, way that we live and way that we keep our home and all of those things. There's a lot to it. So I don't have any easy answers. I'm excited to see where the conversation goes because these are the very conversations that I have with Joe.
You have 45 minutes to figure it out with us, Karen.
You'll be my coaches.
Yeah.
I hope you have a wedding, Karen, so we can do our little retreat there at your wedding.
Yeah, we want to see you. But it's
wear
also like, who
gowns
moves?
and
Do you move? Does he move? Do you both move? It's real big. It's a lot of
big decisions.
well, in my culture we call
Logistics.
it service. It's a lot of
Cirrus. I know Cirrus.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
service. It's a lot of pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's
They're very
where are you at,
different
Lori?
from when you're getting married as a young couple who's building everything together,
right.
Yes.
versus bringing two full and complete lives and families together later in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's where
Absolutely.
communication is so huge, and
Mm.
knowing what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Because if you go into a relationship and you're not clear on these topics, it's like we
Mhm.
might end up moving in, letting go of what we have, not having the surrounding that's important to us, our community. These are some of the topics that I think are just so uber important early in the relationship, like first few dates of
Yeah.
Yeah.
what do you think about this? Is this important to you? I know that's
Right.
one of the conversations I had with Michael probably in the third or fourth date is how do you view marriage? What is it? Is it important? Is it not important? And shared, my views early on.
Yeah. So what are your views, Junie?
Ah, would you like
Mm,
to know?
I
Yes.
So,
would.
yeah, so I'm a little left of center. So, I learned about hand fasting many years ago. Are you guys
Mm.
up on that?
Mhm. Mhm.
No.
It's an old
Mm-mm.
Celtic
Mhm.
tradition of where it's a commitment ceremony. It's the old ways of the old people, where you commit for a year and a day. That's what you do, a year and a day, and
Mm.
every year and a day you decide, do you recommit?
Mm.
I
I
love
I
that.
took that. Yeah, I love it
Mm.
too. And for me, before I met Michael, that was like, that's what I want. Because all the
Mm.
legal stuff, like the why, like all the financial stuff, it just seemed cleaner that way. And as long as the commitment's there, I'm good because I
Mm.
know that about myself.
Mhm.
And I wanted to know where he stood. So I was like, and I started the conversation, where are you when it comes to getting married again? And he said, oh, I would marry again in a heartbeat, that I would love to. And then said, well, how would you feel if I didn't want to do the whole legal marriage thing? And we opened up this conversation, like I said, early on. And then 8 months into our relationship, uh, he did a whole hand fasting ceremony with me. I didn't even see it coming. It was our anniversary. And he asked for my hand in the most beautiful
Mm.
way. But he also said,
Mm.
I would marry you in a heartbeat. And
Mm.
technically, he's still married because his wife has end stage Alzheimer's. So it's like he's not really fully
Oh,
finished
yeah.
with that, which it's kind of coming to an end really soon. But needless
Yeah.
to say, he couldn't. And he's like, I want you to know my commitment. And with
Mm.
that said, he really still wants to get married. And so
Mm.
we're still in conversation, including the living together thing. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I could talk forever, but I know it's not the Junie Moon show. But
This share is already a ride. It's a roller coaster.
but suffice it to say, he is moving in with me. I've pulled him into Jersey. He's coming in the spring, and that's been a long conversation of how would this work, what works for us, what do we want, and I never knew
Like
if I
he's
even
moving
wanted.
in with you?
He is,
He's moving.
yeah. But here's the
Mm.
thing: I never thought I wanted to get married, and I never thought I wanted to cohabitate unless
Unless.
certain things were checked. And I know with every ounce of my being, living together is a yes, yes, yes with him. I
Hmm.
didn't think that could even be possible, but with
Wow.
Right.
him, it's a yes with all the details. And the
Mhm.
marriage
Yay.
thing, I am a yes too, with the caveat. And I said this to him, if we're going to do the legal thing, and I would be thrilled to do it with you, we have to have these conversations around long term care, around our finances, around the
Mhm.
paperwork. Because if we're doing the
Yeah.
legal thing, we have to do the legal thing. So the ability to
Yeah.
have these conversations, to know my bottom line and what's going to work for me, I've really had to do that before I had those conversations with him, to be able to really hear him and not get triggered, and to really ask for what I want. And I'm thrilled.
Mhm.
Do I have a little bit of a, ooh, how is it going to be when he's here? Of course. But
Yeah.
being with him and how we are together, it's like no brainer, no brainer with
Oh,
him.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Junie, I think
congrats. That's
that
amazing.
unless piece is so because I hear from I coach women daters, right? So I
Yes.
coach women who are post divorce, middle of life, or older, getting back into the game. And they almost, I can say with clarity, the majority of them want to live apart together or definitely not get married. But I
Mm.
want to tell them your story unless, because I
Yes.
Mhm.
think it's a
Yes.
philosophical stance and a fear based stance, not
Yes.
Agreed.
necessarily the
Agreed.
truth of how they'll feel when they find love.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
you
Mhm.
can't really make that determination until you're with the person,
Correct.
right? Like it's hard to
Yeah.
say that when you're not in a relationship with somebody. It's only
Mhm.
when you're in a relationship and when you see how it feels that you can really make that decision, I think.
And that's why I
Mhm.
always say you might think you know all these things, and then you get into a
Right.
relationship, and then it's like, oh, wow. So know yourself really well, as I did, and stay open and not give away, not let abandon what's important to me. That was like when I go into this relationship, I'm solid with that, and being curious of, well, what is here and how would that work? Because leading up to this relationship, the LAT, I was like, oh yeah, that is like my
That's
own
me.
personal
Yeah.
space, my own, like,
Yeah.
but being with him and how we are together and how we are able to give each other the space and communicate in a way that fills me up and gives me the important ingredients to my home, to my everyday existence. I know we can handle anything. I know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that before the relationship.
Amazing.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So
Yeah.
let's go to our two resident married people, Lori and Don. We'll start with you, Lori. Like, would you have done anything differently, or how is it? Like, you guys are in separate bedrooms, if I'm not mistaken. So, right?
We live apart together.
Ooh, okay.
I
Tell us
just want
more.
to say that we are at the first time in history where women can even think like this. I mean, this really is
Yeah.
a new we are new fashioned, right? Like there is this new
Mhm.
concept of because we're educated and financially sound, this is now a possibility that we have no role models for this. And yet, I think we're still old fashioned at heart, which is like, oh, and I also think, Ozzy, you always say this, we are wired to connect with other people.
Mhm.
Like I think that our truest, highest dream is to share space with other people. The way I
Yeah.
have handled my truest, deepest desire to share space, and yet my deep desire for independence and my own space and time is by having a separate bedroom from my husband. So I have the best of both worlds, in my opinion. And that was designed, and that required speaking up, and that required knowing myself and all the good things that we talk about. And I think I'm extremely lucky, and not everybody is lucky enough to have that choice. But when I listen to my clients talk about their adamancy, is that a word? Adamancy? Their adamantness about
It is now.
living apart together or not marrying. Again, I do have the fear that that is a reaction. That is, I don't want to be a nurse or a purse. And when they say that about the nurse or the purse, like, oh, you mean you don't want to take care of someone you love? You don't want to share resources with someone you love and are attracted to? That doesn't sound right. Because
Mhm.
once you're in love and in a relationship and
Mhm.
intertwining lives, all you want to do is figure out how you can help that person and be
Yes.
helped by that person. And men feel great when they're helping, physically and
Yep.
financially and sexually and all that. So why wouldn't you want to help each other, support each other,
Yeah.
give to each other? It
Mhm.
has to be fear-based. And I know the rest of you are gonna back me up on this to some extent.
Yes, we
Or at
totally
Yeah,
least
agree.
totally.
maybe Dawn will.
Totally.
Well,
I think
Dawn.
not only is it fear-based, it's a byproduct of women losing themselves in relationships. It's a byproduct of codependency, right? I don't know how to be me and be intimate with you, and so I surrender little parts of myself, and that's what people are afraid of, not being a nurse or a purse, right?
Mm.
Mm.
I
Mm.
became aware probably after I got divorced that I really relied on that marriage certificate, that legal piece, to try to soothe some insecurity I had, probably about being a woman in the world, fed right into the patriarchy crap, right? And newsflash, that marriage certificate didn't save my marriage. And it didn't help me become more me.
Right.
And it probably allowed me to bypass certain things until it fell apart. So when I went to get married again, I was pregnant at the time, which is probably the only reason I actually went through with it. And I really feel like God knew what he was up to the way that whole thing went down, because I was terrified to get married again. I was terrified to get hurt again. I was terrified to go through that pain, right. I was in a protective mode. And I don't think I was fully clear yet. And I was very much on this, like, I'm happy to do commitment. Like, hand fasting would have been so attractive to me at the time. But I wanted my daughter to be born of, right, that old fashioned thing that Lori mentioned. And so today I also coach women who are divorced. I have a divorce podcast, and women in general, I would say, are so jaded about what marriage and relationships have looked like. And I think that is a societal failure. I think, we've done this together, sort of. And I think it's more a commentary on the quality of love and relationship and intimacy and connection and honesty or lack thereof than it is anything else. Um,
because quite frankly, I've probably never been more pro-marriage than I am today. I think being married to a man who very, very, very much values me and my well-being, and it has not been a spotless marriage by any stretch. It's been hard work and a lot of, hard-fought growth, if you will.
Mhm.
But being married allows me to be more in my feminine than I ever have been in my life. And that has been an intentional journey. But I do believe as women, we are meant to be in our feminine as much as possible. And I don't think as single women that is completely available to us. And I think we lie to ourselves when we say that it is. Independence is not how women were designed. We were designed to be in relationship and to be able to surrender. And but that needs to be in safe love.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so then you have to be with a safe masculine man who can provide and protect and has this instinct to provide and protect, and not all men do.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I'll jump on that one because I feel like I'm kind of in that space. Obviously, I'm single, very independent at this point, and that's where I'm kind of torn because I'm really enjoying my independency. It's taken me a long time to get here, and so I don't know, and not that I'm being offered the opportunity, but I don't know that I am ready to share. Yes, yet ready to share that with somebody. With my space and the remote control and all of that stuff is like a lot to think about. But I do love the idea of marriage, the sanctity of it, the sacredness of it. I love the partnership of it. One of my closest friends, I stay with her a lot when I go back to Texas, and I'm always like, just their dynamic of the husband and wife. They've been married for like, I don't know, 30 some years. And, even on a Friday night, they're just like, well, we're going to go to Costco and then we're going to get food and we're going to go do this. And I'm thinking, oh, you just know that? Like that, you just know you're going to do that? And so that's like such a weird concept for me because there's like a standing, it is, it's a calendar. It's a standing date night. And that's what I miss. And that's what I love about being in a relationship is that standing date night, to know that when the weekend comes, I've already got plans. And so for me, I do like the thought of marriage also for the reason that I was married for 20 years and I had fallen out of love for a very long portion of that, which made it difficult. And so I would love to see what marriage is like truly in love with somebody. That excites me. So I don't know. Yeah, where it'll come, but we'll see. What about you, Ozzy?
I feel there's so much hope inside of me just hearing all your stories. I just leaving a message to Junie today. I was saying that I think I've come to a place where I'm just tired of feeling the solitude that I've carried on so much. I do so much on my own for my kids, for myself, that I really miss the companionship.
Yeah.
Right. To someone else to
Yep.
carry the bag, someone else to just to be there. And I'm it's hitting me. It's hitting me a lot lately. And I'm as I'm getting near transitioning from my youngest son leaving my home. There's
It's not easy.
no, it's scary, if I'm
Yeah.
being really
Change.
honest.
Yeah, change, vulnerable.
Yeah.
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 Who would I be without this role? And
Mm.
who could come into my life to receive me as I am, right? And yeah, so I'm exploring all the feels and all of it, and but you do give me hope. I'm excited for that. To me, it's less about the title; it's more about the connection.
Yeah.
And whereas before it was about the title, it was about
Yeah.
how it looked to other people. Now for me, it's really about I really, really, really crave that connection with another
Yeah.
human, and the cuddles and
I know.
everything that comes with it. Yeah.
It's my
I
favorite
know.
thing to curl into my
Oh, me
husband's arm at the end
too.
of the night. Like,
Such a thing. So
and you know
good.
what's interesting is, I'm listening to all of you speak, and I'm remembering back to when I was newly divorced. And as time went on, I think as much as I missed receiving love and snuggles and support and attention, I equally missed giving that to another person. Like I missed cooking a beautiful meal for
Yes.
somebody. I missed things like being in a store and seeing something and
That's
picking
one.
it up because it reminded me of him. Like we
Yeah.
forget how much
The little things.
joy it brings
Yes.
to give as much as to get that in a relationship.
Well
Mhm.
said. Well
Yeah,
said.
Yeah.
very, very good.
Yes, very, very good. And I just want to say, Ozzy, thank you for being so vulnerable there and sharing that with us. And I hope that your son will kind of recognize that. And I really try to talk about that a lot because while it is a new chapter for them, it's also a new chapter for all of us, right? And I think that tends to be forgotten, whether your child is getting married or going off to college or wherever that separation is, it's new for us too. So I just hope everybody recognizes that. So thank you guys for sharing that. Okay, we're going to move on to our cultural watch. Karen, do you have some stats for us on what this whole LAT thing is? What's going on
I
out
do.
there?
Well,
I know you did.
Interestingly, I heard about, before I ever heard LAT on social media or in the public, my dearest girlfriend is French. And she goes back to France every summer. And she was telling me about LAT long before it seemed to come across my radar here in the States. They've been doing this in Europe. Yeah. She said it was a trend in France for quite some time. So listen to this. Only 23% of women between the ages of 45 and 60 say that marriage is very important to them for living a
Ooh.
fulfilling life. And that is down from 45% in 1990. So that's like that's half of the women who in 1990 felt that marriage would fulfill them are
Yeah.
finding that now. That's pretty, I thought that was
Wow.
pretty
Huge.
staggering.
That's huge.
Very.
And these LAT relationships have tripled since the year 2000
Wow.
in America
Tripled.
and in Europe.
You know, now that I think of it, Emily in Paris, right? Emily's boss. Has anybody seen that show?
Yeah,
Emily's
yeah.
boss
Love it.
she's still married, but they live in different parts of France. And
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's
Mhm.
true. Yeah.
It's been a
It's a
thing
thing.
there.
Cultural watch.
Yeah.
And
Karen, what was
watch.
the age of that second stat you gave? Of
45 to 60.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It just, to me, it makes sense because we're in a different stage of life. We know what we want, at least overall. We know what we've done that we don't want to do again. And we're coming into our own. Estrogen is changing and we don't have that, like, oh, I've got to take care of everybody else. Our time, our stage. So it kind of makes sense. It's like, well, wait a second.
And the culture is accepting it because I'm sure if
Right,
we did it in
right.
1930 to
Yes.
1950, it would still those numbers would still
Scarlet
be
letter.
high.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I had a grandmother who lived to 103.
Wow.
And she lost my grandfather very young and dated quite a bit. And over the years, I would say to her, like, but Grandma, don't you want to get married again? And she said, no, I don't want to take care of anybody but me. She said, I took care of him
She
and my
was the
grandfather was sick.
original.
She took care of him. She raised 2 sons on her own. She just got to a point where she was comfortable to just take care of her. I mean, she lived to 103, so something about that worked for her. But it is interesting that I think, a lot of this could also come from the fact that women are always taking care of others. And, clearly, based upon the stats, women are tired of it and they're getting to a
feeling
point
cared
where
for.
they're,
Yeah. It's not
Yeah.
feeling reciprocated.
exactly.
Correct.
Yeah.
That there was
Amazing.
the only
Amazing.
the only stat that I had that we hadn't talked about is that 58% of divorced women over 50 say that they would prefer never to remarry. And that's consistent with everything that we've observed.
Sure.
You guys
Yeah.
have clients who are saying the very same thing to you. So
Yep.
Been there, done that. I would be
Yeah.
curious the stat on whether or not they do though, because I think
Yeah.
if you're interviewed when you've just
In it.
divorced or a few
Right.
years out of divorce and you haven't fallen
Good
in love,
point.
You're protected.
that's a different thing than where
Yeah.
Ozzy might be right now, a few years later, having had life on your own to compare apples and oranges and say, you know what, I might be open to apples
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Juicy
I like
apples.
apples.
Juicy
That's
ones.
right.
Juicy. All right, moving on to the celebrity. We're going to talk a little bit about the love without the lease. I like that phrase. Isn't that good? So even in Hollywood, where marriage and breakup headlines are a weekly thing, some midlifers are proudly saying, I love you, but I'm keeping my own place. So we have like Gwyneth Paltrow. We talk about her a lot. But Gwyneth Paltrow and Brad Falchuk, they got married in 2018, but they didn't live together full time for over a year. So they were
Oh.
both in separate places. And she said that it kept things fresh, that all her married friends said that the way they lived sounded ideal. So everybody else was kind of jealous of the way they were living. And they had teens and blended families, kind of like you, Karen. So maintaining separate homes gave everyone time to adjust to that before they kind of came together. So it said, though, that she was kind of accused of being too elitist or too LA, but she just stood firm on whatever works for you and your relationship is what's right for you and your relationship. So I love that she stood by that. We also have, if you guys remember this guy, I think he was on General Hospital, Jack Wagner.
Yes,
Jack
he was.
Wagner, so hot. He's only
remember him.
65, so which is
Is that
crazy.
Luke? Luke? Is that Luke?
No, that was
no.
Frisco. His name was Frisco.
Oh my God, Frisco and Felicia.
Frisco.
I remember
Oh,
Frisco. Karen is on top of the
Oh,
cultural
I
wise.
know all about Jack Wagner. Trust me.
Wasn't he a singer also? Did he sing?
I don't know. Did he
didn't-
sing?
I thought he was an actor.
He
and
did
a
sing.
singer.
Yes, he did sing.
Yeah, I'm not
Oh,
crazy.
wow. All right. What about Jack
Interesting.
Wagner? What's he
Okay,
got?
Anyway,
Jack-
what about him?
Yeah. So Jack Wagner and his girl, Michelle Wolf, they just got remarried. So they were already married before. But he says they have no plans to move in together. So they already
right.
did the whole marriage thing. Then they got divorced. Now they remarried, but they have no plans to live together. And he basically says, quote, she has her place. I still have mine. We're both comfortable. We said, let's not rock the boat. And so I think that's something where people don't want to, like, if it ain't broke, why fix it, right? Like,
Right.
don't want to mess things
Right.
up. So, so he's kind of choosing stability over convention right now. So I think this is a great, like, look at how midlife can really change you and where you are in your life, because, you know, years ago they might have been totally different about that. He's 65, like I said. Then the other example I have is Robin Roberts. She was TV personality. Do you all know who I'm talking about? She is a lesbian. She is with her wife, Amber Lane. They've been together for nearly 20 years.
Oh, wow.
They just recently married, yet they have their separate residences, one in New York and one in Connecticut. So not even in the same, not even the same state. So they credit that distance for keeping their relationship strong and healthy. And she says it gives them time to miss each other. I can see that a little bit too.
It would be so
mean-
fascinating to overlay attachment theory and attachment styles over all of these statistics, because your anxious
Yes.
attachers are going to want to
Would
remarry.
never allow for that.
Your avoidant attachers are
Right.
going to want to live apart together. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's
Right.
just so interesting, right? There's always an
Yeah.
explanation for human behavior.
But then you have the
Yeah.
secured that are fine living apart and being together.
Yeah. They could
And
do
so many,
either
well,
way.
and then, you know, the disorganized attachers who do both. It's just so fascinating, right, to consider.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
is so
And do
fascinating.
you all remember Sex in the City? Remember when they did that? Carrie and Big did that for a little bit. She kept her own apartment and she would go back and use it. But then if I remember correctly, it started to cause like a little bit of a wedge or a disconnect. And so then she brought it back in. And so maybe that's just it, is trying and figuring out what works for you. See if it works. And if it doesn't, then you bring it on back, I guess.
Oh,
so I don't
Big.
know.
Everyone
Okay.
is welcome in the lounge.
That's
In
right.
the lounge. We will take them here. They can live here and
Yeah.
elsewhere. We're fine with it.
If you just need a break,
Living
just
in
come
the
to
lounge.
the lounge.
I'd
Yeah.
love to offer something also around the live LAT. You know, multiple people I know, family as well as some friends, older friends, they had their separate places because one was extremely messy and one was
Oh.
extremely tidy. And they had like, it was a friend of my mother's actually, that she had an apartment and the man had another apartment on the same floor, but they had their own separate space. And somebody in my family, older as well, they just don't live together because they just live so differently and that would cause conflict. So, you know, there's some practicalities here as well, not just,
Yeah.
oh, it's going to be sparkly and fun because there's the nuances, or there's the fear of how will it be if you know, will I lose myself, which is a very common thing I hear from the women that I work with because they love their life. They don't want to blow it up. There's just so many nuances, but sometimes it's just like, maybe it's better that you stay there and I stay here. We can have a life
Cleaner.
together that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much cleaner.
know,
I think that would
it's-
drive me nuts.
It kind of feels like people can do whatever they want as long as they like their reasons why.
Right.
You know, as long as they really
works for them.
do it intentionally and feel good about their reasons why. And I really think, Dawn, you hit the nail on the head when you said that a lot of the fear that women have around this is because they've allowed themselves to sort of get lost in previous relationships.
Yeah.
And so rather than saying no to marriage, no way, never again, you know, it's doing the work of knowing, who am I? What do I need? What do I want? And how can I remain that within this relationship without, you know, feeling like it means sacrificing myself?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Authenticity.
I and the thou, I and thou. And I love what Lori teaches us. I've repeated this a number of times since I've heard her share it. But about the goal is to be able to dance between I care about my experience of the relationship and yours. And I'm with a partner who cares about my experience of the relationship and theirs. And when those two things are well paired, I think it makes for much of what we've discussed, most of us are looking for or have found, right? It's doesn't have to be all or nothing. It's like as long as we both care about each other's experience in the relationship, we can make magic, whatever that looks like.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the three H's, Don,
Me
because
too.
I want to bring it back up again, the head, the heart, and the hoo-ha. Because you can hear like where we're coming from. We're either coming from practicality, like, well, I sleep better if I'm in my own bedroom, you know, or, well, I'm not going to be putting my kid out if we stay in separate homes. And then there's the heart, what makes me feel more connected. And I think we're sort of exploring that maybe really genuinely some people feel more connected when
With
they
me.
have time
Yeah.
apart.
Yes.
And similarly with hoo-ha, right? Where the heat could get better when you have time apart
Totally.
versus that you want to have access to that potential
Yeah.
for, you know, sexual and romantic contact anytime. So,
100%.
but again, sort of playing off what you said, Karen, too, is like, ask yourself why. Like, are you listening to all three? And why are they saying what they're saying? Are they saying it out of design and possibility? Or are they saying it out of fear
Avoidance.
and scarcity
Right.
and avoidance? Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're
And
no longer
weights.
we're no longer living in a society where we're obligated to do it exactly. You know, it's not a wrong, right thing. And I love the freedom that we have to choose what feels most aligned for us. And when we know that, right, when we are our authentic self, when we do explore that, it's a more sound choice either
Yeah,
way.
because in a lifetime, we're going to experience any infinite number of problems that need to be adapted and overcome. And there's infinite solutions, as my friend Lori Gerber would say.
Infinite.
If we could be open to them. Absolutely.
love
Adapt
that.
and overcome, team. Adapt and overcome.
Yeah. I
But do you
teach
think
that.
is there any part of this that could somehow, and this will go into our next segment, feel like a bit of a cop out at times where it's the easy way out?
for
It's
sure.
the
For some
path less
people,
traveled, right?
For
Yeah,
some
where they're
people,
like, I don't want to do that. That's too hard, too much work to get married. So I'm just going to go over here and this is
Yeah.
great. This is perfect
Play
without
small.
having to make that full commitment.
Place
Yeah.
Or
Which
have the
is-
conversation, because a lot of times just opening that door of the conversation itself is really risky and scary.
Yeah,
What
totally.
is this what's gonna happen? Are they gonna leave me? Am I gonna cause conflict?
Right. Junie, you must have felt that dating that like, if I tell a guy I don't want to get married, maybe that's a deal breaker for him. Because
Yeah.
it could be.
Of course, but and how long am I
Or
gonna
that
stay in
it
this?
is.
How long am I gonna date this person not knowing where he stands? Because if it's a
Right.
deal breaker, I want to know right away.
Exactly. You
And
did the
so,
right thing.
Why?
I
Thank you.
think, by doing it early. Yes.
Yes.
Discussing it early.
Yes. So important. So important.
But again, we may not know. You know, coming
Right.
out of my divorce, I would have been one of those women to say never again.
Yeah.
You
Right,
know,
well,
at that
she-
point, I just had never experienced a relationship where
Right.
I hadn't lost myself. And it wasn't until I was in one where I hadn't lost myself that I was like, oh, you know, this is what it's supposed to feel like. And so
And-
now I'm open
right.
to it in a way that I wasn't before. So you may
Exactly.
not even know on a first,
until you
second,
know.
or third date.
I think the truth is that none of us know. That's the
Exactly.
truth. But
Exactly.
Junie saying this is where I stand right now, and him saying this is where I stand right
Let's
now.
have a
that's
conversation.
That's what has to happen. Or,
Let me hear where
to be
he's
clear.
at. Let me live into that. It's not like, do I want a kid or not have a kid? Like, that's so black and white. Maybe you change your mind, but at the same time, like, that's like, ooh, like, don't end up in a relationship if someone says, I really don't want kids.
Right.
And banking on they're going to change their mind. But in this arena, I agree. It's like we're living into it and being able to have those deep conversations early on. We get a sense of where they stand and can kind of take that temperature check where we are and drop in. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, you being able to say your experience, I'm going to call it your experience, not your truth, actually probably helped your experience evolve into something different,
Sure.
which is what we provide for each other. We listen to where you're at when we all tell our reflections. Don't you find at the end of our conversation, you might be somewhere different than where you started? It's the
Exactly.
Well, and-
beauty of being listened to.
Yeah, and like you said,
Exactly.
it's just like this for now. I have this saying, and in fact, I have it tattooed on me. It's just
Ooh.
like this for now. I have the frequency on my wrist, the frequency of it's just like this for now, just to remind us that
Love that.
every season, every state, every experience is just this for now, and that there's the possibility of it to be different tomorrow. In the next
That's the
second.
most important thing, because where I
So
see
true.
women get themselves hung up is in doubting that they can have the thing they want. And
Yeah.
when they don't believe that it's possible is when they give up and they go small and they bypass and they hide and they protect and get stuck in protection mode. Yeah.
Correct.
So
Yep.
And then they have the false sense of certainty.
that protection is the answer. Yeah.
Guys, we have the answers here. Oh my God.
Menopause Love Lounge to get
Should
all
we
the answers you want.
Let us.
All right,
let
guys,
us
we're gonna
spread our legs.
Let's
Spread
spread
our
our
legs.
legs. Let's do it.
We're going to spread our legs wide open right now. We're going to play a game called Caring, Commitment, or Cop Out. So I'm going to throw out a few modern love scenarios, and you guys are going to tell me, is it an act of self-love, which would be caring, true devotion, which would be commitment, or are we just taking the easy way out? So it's going to be cop out. So we're going to have to do a 1, 2, or 3. 1 is going to be caring. 2, commitment. 3 is cop out.
Ooh, this sounds
Okay.
hard.
I know.
More than 2.
Let's go slow.
We'll go slow. I'll explain it a little bit. Okay. So again, just to clarify, caring is a healthy, supportive, and loving. Commitment is it strengthens connection, shows investment, or deepens emotional intimacy. And number 3 is cop out. It's avoidance, fear of vulnerability, or prioritizing comfort over growth. Okay. First example, separate bedrooms, caring, commitment, or cop out. 1, 2, or 3. Separate bedrooms. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm between 1 and 2.
I mean, for me,
and it could be. But wait a minute.
You
for
have to
some,
say it because they can't hear it if they're watching on.
for
Spotify.
me,
Number
I
one.
say 3.
cop out.
I'm a
I think for some people it is. For some people it is a cop out, right?
Yeah.
That's it's hard
Yeah,
to answer
sure.
that.
It
I
would
hear
be
a
for
lot
me.
of men who snore and they're not willing to like address the underlying health issues around snoring, and then women just have to deal with it and deal with it and deal with it. So yeah, like there could be a cop out, right, if someone's not willing to like bridge some gap.
Yeah. For me, I love the entanglement of sleeping with somebody. I love to sleep like a pretzel and right on them and up under their little nook and cranny. And so for me, like, I feel like I would be doing a disservice. I would be a cop out because I would be just doing it like, oh, he snores too much. So I'm going to go.
You'd be selling out on your desire, which is
I
the same
would.
reason I call it caring, because I'm not selling out on my desire to have a peaceful sleep.
Yeah.
I would almost call it commitment because it's like keeping us together.
And that's what I was thinking. Well, commitment to myself.
Right.
Because
Right.
sleep is so
Yeah.
important to me. And I have literally had separate bedrooms with every single person I've been with, except for Michael, because we've been working it. And now he's got the CPAP. He's not snoring. And I get to sleep with him, which is wonderful. Of course, now
Well,
the
honestly,
CPAP
you guys
makes
are
noise,
making
but,
me think. You are making me think maybe I should sleep with my husband. I mean, that is how
My
it's
favorite
really
thing.
nice, Lori.
Like
Lori,
maybe
it's so
Dawn
nice.
can help with the snoring.
Seriously, I
maybe.
mean,
I
it's
don't
so
know.
Yeah, my
nice.
husband
Anything's
hardly snores
possible.
anymore. Hardly snores.
It's so
Hardly.
nice.
What'd you do to him?
Yeah. What'd you
Oh,
do to
remedies?
him?
Yeah.
She clocks him
homeopathic-
over the head before night.
No. It was all homeopathic remedies. Plus, he does a nasal. He does a saline rinse every night. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because my
Okay.
ex-husband's mom sewed a tennis ball to his t-shirt because he was such a bad snorer. So when he would come to bed, he would wear a t-shirt with a tennis ball attached to his back. So every time he would turn around, it would hurt. So then he would have to turn to his side.
Oh yes, that could work.
I didn't
for
know
us.
where you were going with that.
Merch.
That's awesome.
All right. What's the next one?
Well,
Go
all
on.
right. Using toys alone. Caring, commitment, cop out. I think I'm caring about myself there.
Yeah.
1.
Using it alone.
Yeah.
Caring.
Yeah, toys
caring.
alone. Using your toys alone. Or
Yeah,
you're
you're like
caring
we
keeping
about
all
the sex
agree.
yourself.
vibe going. Yeah, you're like
Yeah,
keeping
you're
the juices
keeping
flowing.
the season.
Yeah.
Wait,
That's right.
Ozzy
So we're
has a
caring
face.
and committing.
Ozzy has a
Ozzy, what's
face.
your face?
I don't know.
You think it's
Maybe
a
I
cop-out?
misunderstood the question.
All right. Well, we'll move on.
Using your
going.
choice. Okay.
Keep going.
Okay.
Moving on.
Not merging finances. Not merging
Ooh.
finances. Caring, commitment, or cop out. Yeah, I'm 3. Junie's a
know.
2.
I think I'm a 1.
It's complex. It's complex,
my
but
Yeah,
I
God.
lean
It's
Dawn's
towards
a
complex.
cop
3.
out.
Yeah.
I lean
My
towards
It is.
3.
It
feminism is
depends.
making me vote 1.
Oh,
I just
that
feel
it's
like
caring.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we
Yeah.
finally got our financial independence. We're really gonna throw it away so soon.
Yeah.
Ah!
I get that.
I'm confused
know,
with the
but
caring and
in
the
in an
commitment because it's like,
economy,
go ahead.
when you look at what creates generational wealth, it is usually a collaboration of resources. You can usually do more
Yeah, but
together.
you have separate kids when you're remarrying after a divorce.
I know, it's complex.
so
It's complex for sure.
generational is
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, sharing
complicated.
a pet but not a home. If
I've
you're
never
sharing
heard of
a
this.
pet.
What
yeah.
even is this?
Come on.
Somebody
It
explain.
happens all the
Yeah.
time.
It
It
does
happens all the
happen.
time.
That it doesn't
So-
last, though. I've seen it not
I
last.
think
So
it's
we're a lot of
3.
3. Yeah.
It's
Everybody's
like-
copping out on that one.
about that one.
Okay. Next one. This one's for Junie. Skipping the wedding ring.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so doing other things, meaning you
Oof.
can do other things like she did
Yeah.
her hand
1,
ceremony.
2,
So is
1,
that
2,
caring,
1, 2,
commitment, or copping out? 1, 2, or 3 if you're
Oof.
skipping the wedding ring. I think I need to get married because I'm saying
I,
this is
I
all
don't know.
copping out.
Why is it a
Yeah,
cop out,
yeah.
Lori, for you?
Oh, this is so complicated to me because I really could go either way. I really don't think you have to get married, but I think it's really interesting to ask yourself why you don't want to.
Yeah.
If all your 3 H's are happy and you're in love,
Like why you don't want to
and
wear
you
a
want to
ring.
spend the rest of your life with someone, why
Ah,
wouldn't you want to?
I
Or
agree.
why wouldn't you want to wear the ring?
So it's a
Which,
cop
by the
out
way, my
if you
parents
have all
didn't
that.
wear my parents didn't wear wedding rings.
Yeah.
I actually just
Mhm.
figured that out like last week. My parents didn't wear wedding rings, and
Hmm.
what's your agenda? Like, what are you doing?
So the thing
I'm
I will
just
say though
curious.
is that my first marriage, I was all about sporting that diamond. And now it's not about the diamond, it's about the marriage.
Ah.
So I love wearing a ring, but I also don't care if I'm not wearing it. And vice versa. Like, and my husband
You're
always
just
says,
as
he's like,
committed.
if they don't know I'm into you, they have not been paying attention. Like,
Oh,
it's so
I
sweet,
love
right? Like, yeah,
that.
there's so much
That's
commitment
very
between
sweet.
the two of
Yeah.
us
Yeah,
that it's just like,
nice.
whatever.
That is very sweet, Dawn.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Never posting your partner online.
That's
It's weird. It's weird.
I mean, it depends. Are we talking about, people who
Soft
have a
launch.
business, who have a public presence,
Yeah.
or are we just talking about people who are not wanting to post their significant other in front of their friends and acquaintances? I
Yeah,
think they're two
I think
different
it
things,
may be more-
right?
Yeah.
But I think an
All right.
integrated life is an integrated life.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
when you're
And yet
segmenting things
we're
like
public figures here. And so, I ask him permission. Is this okay if I post this? Is this okay if
Yeah.
I post this?
Yes,
So that's the caring for me.
Yeah.
Commitment to my mission to show what is healthy relationships, and cop out as if I'm not going to
Right.
say, hey, is it okay if I can share this? It's like I go there,
I like that.
right.
All right, next one. Separate vacations. Going to
Oh.
2 different places. Is that
Ooh.
caring, commitment,
That's
or
commitment, in
cop-outs?
my opinion.
yeah,
That's
like
the way to go.
Yeah.
I think that
I
can
think
be
I could
very
say that.
healthy. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of commitments. Okay.
You should be able to
I
take
like
your
that.
own vacation.
And
We
caring
also
for
have such-
myself,
Yeah, we have such
Yeah.
different needs,
Yeah.
especially
Yes.
as we age, or if you're getting together after,
Yeah.
once
Yeah.
you're in midlife or later. It's like we have
Mhm.
such different needs. Why do we have
Yeah.
to sacrifice all of them?
Or caring
And I
for
love-
him if he wants to be with his friends and he
Right.
wants
His
to have
guy
that
friends,
solid
and
time.
you want your girlfriend.
Right. I don't want to
Yeah.
go hunting or whatever. Like, yeah.
No,
you
it's
know.
spa day.
And it's not saying that you wouldn't be taking a vacation as a couple.
Right.
It's just
Right.
saying that at
And-
times maybe there are certain things that he wants to do with his friends, or you want to do
That's
with
right.
yours, or you want to go
Exactly.
alone.
Maintaining your
Yeah,
identity.
totally. Yep.
Yeah.
Both of you.
Yep.
Identity. What's one of our
Huge.
words?
I like
Yay.
it. Okay, 2 more. 2 more. Hall pass for a celebrity crush. A hall pass for a celebrity crush. Is that a caring, a commitment, or a cop out?
Oh,
Dawn's like,
shit.
Yeah,
All
Leo,
right.
Mary.
No
Everyone's
gets
saying
to
cop-
fuck anyone.
Yeah,
in our
I don't-
book.
I don't believe in hall
We're
passes.
unified. Are we unified?
But you
Andrea?
did make me
agree? We're
think,
unified.
Andrea. You
Okay.
did make me
I
think.
know.
You did make
I
me
Feel
know.
free to have the fantasy,
You can have the
There you go.
fantasy, just don't act
Who-
on it.
Yeah.
Who, real quick, what's your celebrity crush? Mine's Brad Pitt. Easy.
Oh, wow.
Lori, Dawn,
I haven't had one in a
Karen?
long time. My last one,
It
this was a long time ago,
changes.
was Bradley Cooper.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's hot.
he
I'd
could
have to
still
My last
reevaluate.
one was Matt Damon, but that's from the Good Will
Oh,
Hunting era.
yeah.
No,
I just
nobody
watched
would
Born
ever
Identity.
guess mine,
Oh,
but
Jack Wagner.
when I was 16, yes, but now Harry Connick Jr.
I like
Oh.
him. Oh, yes, I
Yeah.
would go there.
I would go there.
Harry Connick Jr.
Y'all got to watch just to see Karen's O face there. See,
Wait,
like
we
that
still
one.
need to hear two more.
I don't know.
I can't think of.
Oh,
Come
There's
on.
so many.
Name one.
Just kidding.
One.
Just kidding.
Ozzy, any?
George
Gosh.
Clooney?
Oh, yeah,
George
that's a
Clooney.
good
He
one.
was up
That's
there
your
for
type.
me. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's hot.
I'm
He's
really
hot.
having a hard
He's
time
funny
with
too.
this
I
one.
like funny.
All right.
I
We'll
can't
give you
think of
time,
one.
Junie. We're coming back to you.
Yeah.
Do you need
yeah.
me
Okay,
to
last
send you
one.
some TikTok videos of men folding
Some
fitted
info.
sheets?
Oh, I got one. Matthew McConaughey.
Okay.
All
I
right,
like him.
all right, all right.
Oh,
Green
wow.
Light.
Right.
You
That was so
you
good,
haven't
Andrea.
listened to Green
It was
Light.
a good book. I have. It's a
Brilliant.
great book.
Brilliant.
Great
Brilliant.
book.
Mhm.
You like him
Yes.
for his personality.
I
Wait, you
do.
guys. Oh my God. How did I
That
forget my
big
guy?
personality.
Jim
I don't know
Curtis.
how you
Guy.
forgot Ozzy because
Jim
I'm thinking,
Curtis. Oh my
yes,
God.
that's your man.
Duh.
Jim
Brain
Curtis.
fog.
That's your
Brain
man.
fog.
Well, he just
Strikes
came out.
again.
They just came out publicly that he and Jen are together. So whatever.
Oh,
Oh well.
move.
Okay,
You'll have to
finish
move on.
up.
Okay,
Let's
last
do
Here
it.
we
one.
go. Down.
Last one. Open relationship. A light open relationship. Is that caring, commitment, or cop out? Oh, we've got a lot of cop outs.
We
oh,
all
everybody's
think it's
Can I give it a six?
Oh,
I
we
lived
are
it.
so
I lived it, so-
opinionated.
This is a
y'all.
dicey thing to say
Same.
because I've worked with people within their polyamorous relationships, but underneath there is always
Something.
something.
Yeah.
So hard.
Need for something.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Y'all.
That was our game of caring, commitment, or cop out. I like that one. That was fun.
That was good.
fun.
That was hard.
All right.
You
we
did
are
it, Junie.
closing the legs on that one. So, to you listeners out there, I hope you're enjoying being in the lounge with us and really kind of learning so much about us. We're being very, very vulnerable with you guys.
We
We
are.
are looking for you to be a little vulnerable back with us.
Reciprocate.
Yes. Are you in a living apart together relationship? Are you dreaming of one? We want to hear from you. You can DM us at Menopause Love Lounge on Instagram or TikTok. You can tag us with the post hashtag my midlife love story, also hashtag Menopause Love Lounge. And if this episode made you think differently about love and freedom, then you guys can reach out to us by email at theladies@menopauselovelounge.com. But also please subscribe, share, and leave a review, a comment, something to let us know you are loving what we're doing because we're loving it, aren't we, guys? We're loving
Yes,
it.
yes.
Loving it. So good. All right. With that, we are closing it all up. You guys have a wonderful week. Bye-bye from the ladies in the lounge. See you next
Bye.
week.
Bye.
Bye.